The night was quiet, but the silence felt heavy. A young girl walked slowly along the road, holding her coat tightly around her body. Her name was Mira. She was very young, tired, and scared. Each step felt harder than the last, but she did not stop. She believed that if she stopped, everything she was running from would catch her. Mira had left her home days ago. She had not planned anything. She only knew that she could not stay where she was. Fear pushed her forward. Her thoughts were confused, and her heart felt weak. She kept looking behind her, even when the road was empty. In her mind, one sentence repeated again and again. They found me. The cold air made her shiver. Her body felt heavy, and her stomach ached. She rested her hand there without thinking. It reminded her why she was running. She was carrying a new life, and that made everything more frightening. She did not know where to go or who to trust. At the end of the road, she saw a small house. The walls were old, and the paint was faded. A weak yellow light came from one window. The place looked poor and forgotten, but to Mira it felt like hope. She stood there for a moment, unsure. Then she gathered her courage and knocked on the door. The door opened slowly. An elderly woman stood there, wearing a simple shawl. Her hair was gray, and her face showed many years of hard life. Still, her eyes were gentle. Her name was Anna. She lived alone and survived on very little. "Yes, child," Anna said softly. Myra's voice shook as she spoke. "Please help me. I have nowhere else to go." Anna looked at the girl carefully. She saw fear, hunger, and deep sadness in her eyes. She noticed how Mira stood, trying to protect herself. Anna did not ask questions. She stepped aside and opened the door wider. "Come in," she said. "You should not be outside in this cold." Mira entered the small house. It was simple and clean. There was a wooden table, 2 chairs, and a small kitchen. The smell of warm tea filled the air. Anna gave Mira a blanket and a cup of tea. Mira held the cup with both hands, feeling warmth slowly return to her body. For a long time, neither of them spoke. The ticking of an old clock filled the room. Finally, Mira began to talk. She spoke slowly, choosing her words with care. She said she had run away. She said people were searching for her. She did not say who they were, only that they were powerful and would not stop looking. Anna listened quietly. She did not interrupt. She had learned long ago that sometimes listening was the greatest kindness. When Mira finished speaking, tears ran down her face. She felt weak and embarrassed. She expected Anna to tell her to leave. Instead, Anna reached across the table and held Myra's hand. "You can stay here tonight," Anna said. "This house is small, but it is safe." Mira closed her eyes. For the first time in many days, she felt calm. She slept that night on an old bed in a small room. The blanket was thin, but it was enough. Her dreams were restless, but she did not wake in fear. The next morning, Anna prepared simple food, bread and warm milk. Mira ate slowly, thankful for every bite. Anna watched her with concern. She knew the girl was carrying a heavy burden. Over the next few days, Mira stayed in the house. She helped Anna clean and cook. She tried to smile, but fear still lived inside her. Sometimes she looked out the window, expecting to see someone standing there. Anna noticed this. One evening, she gently asked, "Are you afraid of someone, child?" Mira nodded. Her voice was low. "My family is very rich. They control many things. When they learn something, they do not let it go. I left because I had no choice." Anna was surprised but did not react strongly. She had lived long enough to know that money did not always mean kindness. Far away from the small house, black cars moved through the city. Men in expensive suits spoke into phones. Pictures of Mira were passed from hand to hand. Her family had begun their search. They were used to getting what they wanted. Mira did not know how close they were. She only knew that her time of peace might not last long. And the quiet little house, hidden in a forgotten street, was about to become the center of something much bigger than either woman expected. Morning light entered the small house through a narrow window. Mira woke slowly, listening to the quiet sounds around her. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then the memories returned. The fear. The running. The reason she could not go back. She sat up carefully and placed her hand on her stomach. She whispered a soft promise that she would keep going. In the kitchen, Anna was already awake. She moved slowly, her joints stiff from age, but her movements were careful and steady. She believed in starting the day with purpose, no matter how small the task. When Mira entered the room, Anna smiled. "You slept," Anna said. "That is good." Mira nodded. "Thank you for letting me stay." Anna waved her hand gently. Everyone needs help sometimes. After breakfast, Mira offered to help with chores. She swept the floor, washed cups, and folded old clothes. The work kept her mind busy, but her thoughts still drifted. She wondered how long she could stay. She wondered what would happen if her family found her. Anna watched her closely. She noticed how Mira often paused, lost in thought. She noticed how Mira listened carefully to every sound outside. Anna understood fear very well. She had lived through many hard years. That afternoon, a loud car passed slowly outside. Mira froze. Her heart began to beat fast. She moved away from the window and held the table for support. Anna noticed at once. "It is only a car," she said calmly. "This street is quiet, but people still pass." Mira tried to breathe normally. "I am sorry," she said. "I get scared easily." Anna placed a warm hand on her shoulder. "Fear does not make you weak," she said. "It means you care." Later that day, Anna shared her story. She spoke about losing her family long ago and how she learned to live with little. She explained how the house was all she had left, and how kindness was the one thing no one could take from her. Mira listened carefully. She felt closer to Anna after hearing her words. That night, she told Anna more about her own life. She explained that her family controlled large businesses. People listened when they spoke. They expected perfection. When Mira made choices they did not approve of, they reacted with anger and control. "I felt like I was trapped," Mira said. "I was not allowed to decide anything for myself." Anna nodded slowly. Power without care can break people. Days passed quietly. Mira began to feel stronger. She helped Anna every day and learned how to cook simple meals. Sometimes they laughed together. Sometimes they sat in silence. The house began to feel like a home. But outside the small street, things were changing. The search for Mira had grown serious. Her family had used every connection they had. They checked hospitals, shelters, and train stations. They spoke to people who never refused them. Each hour that passed made them more determined. One man in a dark suit stopped near the old street. He studied the houses carefully. He noticed the small one with the weak yellow light. Something about it caught his attention. He made a phone call and spoke quietly. Inside the house, Mira felt uneasy without knowing why. That evening, she told Anna she wanted to leave. "I do not want to bring trouble to you," Mira said. "If they find me here, you could be hurt." Anna looked at her seriously. "Running forever is not living," she said. "You cannot carry this fear alone." Mira looked down. She felt torn. She wanted safety, but she also wanted freedom. She did not know how to get both. That night, Mira could not sleep. She walked quietly to the window and looked outside. The street was empty, but her heart still raced. She felt like something was coming. The next morning, Anna suggested visiting a local clinic for a checkup. Mira agreed, though she was nervous. They walked together, moving slowly. The clinic was small and quiet. The nurse was kind and did not ask many questions. On the way back, Mira noticed a car parked near the street. It was black and clean, different from the others nearby. The windows were dark. She stopped walking. "Anna," she whispered. "That car." Anna followed her gaze. Her face remained calm, but her eyes sharpened. "We will keep walking," she said softly. They passed the car without stopping. No one came out. Still, Mira felt watched. That evening, Anna made a decision. She told Mira that hiding forever was not the answer. She suggested finding someone who could help protect Mira and her child legally and safely. Mira felt scared but also hopeful. For the first time, she considered that her future might not only be about running. Far away, the billionaire family gathered in a large room filled with glass and steel. Screens showed maps and photos. Myra's picture was at the center. They were close now. Very close. Back in the small house, Mira sat beside Anna, holding a cup of tea. The night felt calm, but the air was heavy with change. Mira did not know what tomorrow would bring. One thing was clear. Her quiet days were coming to an end. The next morning felt different. Mira woke before sunrise. The house was quiet, but her heart felt heavy. She sat on the edge of the bed and listened. No cars. No voices. Still, she felt uneasy. She knew the calm would not last. Anna was already awake. She stood near the window, watching the street. When she heard Mira enter the room, she turned and smiled softly. "You did not sleep well," Anna said. Mira shook her head. "I feel like something is about to happen." Anna nodded. Sometimes the heart knows before the mind. They shared a simple breakfast. Bread, tea, silence. After eating, Anna told Mira they needed to take a step forward. She explained that a kind lawyer lived nearby, someone who helped people without asking for much in return. "He helped me once," Anna said, "when I almost lost this house." Mira listened carefully. The idea of speaking to a lawyer scared her, but she trusted Anna. Trust was something she had not felt in a long time. They left the house late in the morning. Anna walked slowly, using a small stick to support herself. Mira stayed close, watching every corner, every reflection in windows. The streets felt louder today. Even small sounds made her tense. At the lawyer's office, a modest building with a faded sign, they were welcomed by a middle-aged man named Rafi. He had calm eyes and a gentle voice. He listened carefully as Anna spoke. Then Mira shared her story in short pieces. She spoke about her family, their power, and how she felt trapped. Rafi did not interrupt. When she finished, he leaned back and thought. "You have rights," he said calmly. "Money does not erase that. But this will not be easy." Mira nodded. "I am not afraid of hard things," she said. "I am afraid of losing my freedom." Rafi explained that they could help her find legal protection and a safe place. It would take time. It would also draw attention. Mira felt a wave of fear, but she also felt stronger. She was tired of running without direction. When they left the office, Mira noticed the same black car parked across the street. Her breath caught. The door did not open, but she felt certain now. They were watching. Anna noticed Myra's fear. "We go home calmly," she said. "Fear feeds those who hunt." They returned to the small house. Mira helped Anna lock the door. She sat at the table, hands shaking. "They know," Mira said quietly. Anna poured tea. "Knowing is not the same as winning," she replied. That evening, a knock came at the door. Mira froze. Her heart felt like it would burst. Anna stood slowly and walked to the door. She looked through the small opening. A man stood outside. He wore a clean suit and spoke politely. "We are looking for a young woman. We believe she may be here." Anna opened the door just enough to face him. "Many people pass through this street," she said. "You should look elsewhere." The man smiled, but his eyes were cold. "We will be back," he said before walking away. Mira felt weak. She sat down and covered her face. "They will not stop," she whispered. Anna sat beside her. "Then neither will we." That night, Anna told Mira a truth she had not shared before. She spoke about her own daughter, long gone, and how she once wished someone had protected her when she was young and afraid. "I could not help her," Anna said softly. "But I can help you." Mira cried quietly. She held Anna's hand and felt a deep bond form between them. The next day, Rafi returned with papers and plans. He explained that they needed to move Mira to a safer place temporarily. It would be difficult, but it was the best option. Mira packed her few belongings. She looked around the small room that had become her shelter. She felt sadness but also gratitude. Before they could leave, several black cars stopped at the end of the street. Doors opened. People stepped out. Myra's fear returned, but this time it did not control her. She stood tall. Anna stepped forward. Rafi stood beside them. Neighbors began to watch from windows. One woman from the cars spoke loudly, demanding Mira return with them. She spoke of family duty and shame. Mira took a deep breath. "I am not property," she said firmly. "I will decide my own future." The crowd murmured. The woman grew angry, but Rafi spoke calmly about laws and rights. Cameras from nearby phones began recording. The powerful family realized something important. Control was slipping. The cars eventually drove away. The street returned to quiet, but everything had changed. Mira knew her journey was far from over. But she also knew she was no longer alone. Inside the small house, Anna smiled with tired eyes. "This is only the beginning," she said. Mira nodded. She felt fear, yes, but also courage growing inside her. For the first time, she believed she could face whatever came next. The street became quiet after the black cars left. Neighbors slowly closed their windows. The moment felt heavy, like the air was holding its breath. Mira stood near the door, her hands resting on the table. Her legs felt weak, but her mind was clear. She had spoken her truth, and there was no taking it back. Anna sat down carefully, her strength fading after the tension. Rafi remained standing, watching the street through the window. "They will change their approach," Rafi said. "When power meets resistance, it becomes clever." Mira nodded. She understood that this was not over. She thanked Rafi for standing with them. He smiled and reminded her that courage often grows when shared. That night, they planned quietly. Rafi explained that public attention was now their shield. The family could not act openly anymore. Still, Mira needed a safe place far from the city. A calm environment would help her health and her future. Anna listened closely. She knew this meant letting Mira go. In the early morning, a small car arrived. A woman named Lena stepped out. She worked with a group that protected young women in difficult situations. Her voice was calm, and her eyes were honest. Mira packed her bag slowly. She paused in the doorway and looked at Anna. The small house had been her shelter when she had nothing. Tears filled her eyes. "I will never forget you," Mira said. Anna hugged her gently. "You already changed my life," she replied. "Now go and live yours." The car drove away. Anna stood in the doorway until it disappeared. The safe place was outside the city, surrounded by open land and quiet roads. The building was simple but clean. Other women lived there, each with her own story. Mira felt nervous but welcomed. Days passed peacefully. Mira rested, ate well, and attended simple classes about life skills and confidence. For the first time in a long while, she felt her body relax. Still, her thoughts often returned to Anna. She worried about the elderly woman being alone. She wrote letters that she hoped would be delivered safely. Back in the city, Anna's life changed too. Reporters came to the street, curious about the confrontation. Anna spoke only about kindness and fear. She refused to share names. People admired her courage. Rafi continued to work quietly. He filed papers, contacted organizations, and built a legal wall around Myra's future. The powerful family was not silent. They released statements filled with concern and care. They spoke of family values. Many people questioned their words after seeing the recordings. Mira watched some of this from the safe place. It was strange to see her life discussed by strangers. Lena reminded her not to read too much. "Your job is to stay healthy," Lena said. "Let others handle the noise." One afternoon, Mira received a call. It was Anna. Hearing her voice brought tears to Myra's eyes. "I am fine," Anna said. "Do not worry about me." They spoke for a long time. Anna told her about the quiet house and how neighbors now greeted her with respect. Mira shared her small victories. The call ended with both feeling stronger. Weeks passed. Mira began to feel movement inside her. It reminded her that life was growing, depending on her strength. She attended regular checkups and followed every instruction carefully. Rafi called with good news. The legal process was moving forward. Mira would soon have full protection from forced control. The family tried one last approach. They requested a private meeting. Rafi refused unless strict conditions were met. Public oversight. Clear rules. The meeting took place in a neutral place. Mira was calm. She spoke clearly about her choices and her future. For the first time, her family listened. They did not apologize, but they stepped back. It was enough. As Mira left the building, sunlight touched her face. She felt lighter than she had in months. That evening, she stood outside the safe place and watched the sky change color. She thought about the road she had walked. The fear. The kindness. The courage she found inside herself. Far away, Anna sat in her small house, holding a cup of tea. She smiled, knowing that helping one person had created a chain of change. Mira placed her hand on her stomach and whispered a promise of love and protection. The future was still unknown, but it no longer felt dark. The final weeks before the birth were calm and steady. Mira followed a simple routine each day. She woke early, walked slowly in the open yard, and joined the other women for breakfast. The air outside the city felt clean and light. It helped her think clearly. Fear no longer ruled her thoughts. Hope had taken its place. Mira had changed. Her face looked stronger. Her eyes carried confidence instead of panic. She still remembered the night she knocked on Anna's door, shaking and lost. That memory stayed with her, not as pain, but as proof of how far she had come. Lena noticed the change. One afternoon, as they sat together folding clothes, Lena smiled and said, "You are ready for what comes next." Mira placed her hand on her stomach and nodded. "I am not scared anymore," she said. "I know I can protect my child." Rafi continued his work quietly. One morning, he arrived with documents and good news. The legal process was complete. Mira now had full protection. No one could force her back into a life she did not choose. "This paper does not give you freedom," Rafi said gently. "You already earned that. It only makes it official." Mira thanked him with deep respect. Without his guidance, she would still be running. Anna also received the news. When Rafi visited her small house to inform her, she closed her eyes and whispered a short prayer of thanks. She felt proud, like a mother watching a child step into the world with strength. As the due date came closer, Mira spent more time writing. She wrote about her journey, her fear, and the kindness that saved her. Lena suggested that one day her words might help others. "You have a voice now," Lena said. "Use it when you are ready." The day arrived quietly. There was no rush, no panic. The staff helped Mira calmly. She focused on breathing and strength. Hours passed, and then a new life entered the world. When Mira held her child for the first time, tears filled her eyes. The room felt warm and peaceful. In that moment, everything made sense. Every step she took, every fear she faced, had led her here. She named her child Noor, a name that meant light. It felt right. News traveled slowly and carefully. Anna received the call in her small kitchen. When she heard the news, she sat down and laughed softly through her tears. A light has arrived, she said to herself. Days later, Anna visited the safe place with Rafi. When Mira saw her, she felt her heart fill with emotion. They hugged gently, careful and warm. You did it, Anna said. We did it, Mira replied. Anna held Noor and smiled. This child is surrounded by strength, she said. That is the best gift. The visit was short but meaningful. Before leaving, Anna pressed something into Myra's hand. It was a small old necklace. I wore this for many years, Anna said. Now it belongs to you. Mira accepted it with gratitude. Life did not become perfect overnight. There were still challenges. But Mira faced them with calm and confidence. She began training for work she enjoyed. She planned a future built on choice, not fear. The powerful family faded into the background. Their influence no longer controlled her story. Public attention moved on, but Myra's life kept growing quietly and steadily. One evening, as the sun set over the open land, Mira sat outside holding Noor. The sky was painted with soft colors. She felt peace. She thought about how one act of kindness had changed everything. One door opened by a poor, elderly woman had led her to freedom. Far away, Anna sat in her small house, listening to the quiet street. She felt content. She knew she had done what she was meant to do. Mira looked down at Noor and smiled. You will grow without fear, she whispered. You will know love and choice. The past no longer chased her. The future no longer scared her. Her story was no longer about being found. It was about being free.